From the Canopy is brought to you by Brooklyn's own Indians and Robbers Apparel and Art.
Hey folks, man, this is Cory, and we're back with another From the Canopy podcast episode, and this is the movie Massacre. It's a podcast about film by way of news, trailers, and reviews, and this is going to be a bonus episode today, folks. So this is going to be, we're going to be discussing our favorite superheroes in the films, man, and joining us today, we've got a special guest. We've got Michael Ravenshadow from the Trick or Treat Radio podcast, and as well as others. And how you doing, man?
Oh, Bambaleo, baby. I'm so excited to be here to hang out with Bobby, Cory, and my main man, Corny, man. It's an honor to be on From the Canopy, man.
Yeah, and of course, you guys know we got Bobby Blockbuster.
Yo, yo, yo.
And we got Cornelius, a.k.a. Evil Corny. And I guess...
Hey, how you doing, Cory?
And yeah, how you guys doing, man? What's going on, man? Let's get that out the way.
No complaints, no complaints.
All right,
I was doing good up until people start spoiling movies for me. But other than that, I'm good.
Oh, shit. It's going to be one of those nights.
Yeah, so... well, I'm going to toss this off to Ravenshadow, man. I want you to tell the people a little bit about, you know, what you do out here in this podcasting sphere and I guess other things if you want to, you know, indulge us.
Yeah, man. You know, definitely. I'm a co-host on Trick or Treat Radio. We do a podcast every week, which pretty much everyone does nowadays, right? I think my Nana has a podcast. It's called Outside the Knitting Circle. It's very exciting. But no, we've been doing this about, it'll be actually be 9 years pretty soon. I think this August.
Whoa.
And
That's what's up, though.
yeah, you know, I think we came in around like phase 2 of this, you know what I mean? And yeah, we every week we discuss a film, usually in the horror tip. We do film discussions, genre, topics, dick jokes. We've gotten some positive press. We were in Rue Morgue, Entertainment Weekly Online. One of my favorite bits of press was we were the Howard Stern Show meets the Nerdist, which was a pretty big pop for me. And I think what maybe makes us slightly different is that we've been friends. Our team has been friends for the better part of over 20 years. I mean, hell, I was on Aries soccer team back in the day, and I'm 44 now. But you know, for the longest time, we were all in the same room together. With COVID, that's not a possibility anymore. But you know, we've been doing this show at the Denny's table for the last 20 years. So it's like, if you check us out, hopefully you feel like you have a seat at that table. And there's dick jokes, obviously, too.
That's what's up, man. So I think Bob, you picked this topic this week, man. You want to give us a little
Yeah, I mean, I
intro?
figured since the last time that we did a special episode, we did villains. So I thought, you know, we don't never give no love to the superheroes. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm more, you know, on the horror genre. You know what I'm saying? I root for the villains, you know. So I felt like, you know, fuck that. Let's give the superheroes some love and, you know, see where it takes us.
Yeah, that's what's up, man. I guess, I don't know. We're just going to go around the room and each of us going to tick off. I think we all picked 3 superheroes we want to talk about and why we like them. And who want to set it off? Anybody want to volunteer or?
I'll go ahead and start.
All right. Okay. Who you got, man? Who you got first?
Okay, the first person I'm going to mention is from the movie Kick-Ass. Overall, I love that comic book by Mark Millar. It's about a kid vigilante that pretty much puts on a costume and starts fighting crime. But this character in that movie is called Big Daddy. He's portrayed by Nicolas Cage. He's a cross in the film. He's a cross between the Punisher and Batman, the Adam West type Batman, but very violent. His sidekick is his daughter, Hit Girl. But overall, I just liked how he had a big arsenal of weapons. They pretty much played Kick-Ass for laughs, but it's kind of serious shit happening during this film. Overall, I just love Nicolas Cage kind of taking that role on. He's a little bit different than I remember him being in the comic, but overall, I loved it. Love that character.
Yeah, that's what's up, man. Any insights? I haven't seen that film in a long time.
I'm not going to spoil the movie for anybody because, there's a lot of people out there that might not have seen this film.
Have you ever seen Kick-Ass?
Yeah.
A couple?
I'm just saying.
No, he was a dope character. And, moving later into the show, I'm definitely going to reference the movie as well. So I don't want to get too in depth, but his character was definitely one of the more memorable ones. And I feel like, what he brought to it, with his age and his experience and, his agenda was, it was awesome. You know what I mean? Like it was really cool to see his character come to fruition as a whole.
Yeah. Any thoughts on Ravenshadow?
Oh yeah, definitely. And my favorite part of Kick-Ass was when Mechagodzilla showed up and fought the main character. If you heard the pre-show, you'd get that joke. But no, funny things too about that movie. What's Corny? What's Kick-Ass's real name in this alter ego?
You mentioned it to me a couple of days ago, and I forgot already.
Fair. But I work part-time at a comic shop outside of Boston. And there was a contest when Kick-Ass was coming out to name his alter ego. And it was actually a subscriber from our shop, That's Entertainment, that was picked. So when I started working there, we have subscriber lists. And I would see names. And I'm like, oh, shit, that looks like the fucking Kick-Ass name. And like, yeah, that's how they got the name. Because this dude won a contest. So I thought that was kind of dope. Yeah.
So he won the guy that won was from the shop you were going to.
Yeah.
Where you worked at. That's wild. That's cool. And it's I think it's Dave Lazowski.
Yes. Thank you.
Yeah.
Good pull.
Thanks to the internet. I'm not. That's
what's up. What poster's behind you right there, Ravenshadow? Not the preacher.
Is
not the preacher. What's up?
Yeah. Yep. It's Glenn Fabry, preacher of Jesse Cassidy and Tulip.
No, the other one behind you.
Oh, behind me is Boondock Saints.
Oh, okay.
Good film.
All right. So who's got next?
Shit, I'll go ahead and go.
All right.
Just to start it off on my end, I'm gonna go with a film called Defendor, which this film is. It's really cool on a lot of levels. Defendor is played by Woody Harrelson, and he's actually a mentally challenged man. And when he's not assuming his role as Defendor, his name is Arthur Poppington, and he turns into a vigilante superhero. And he wants to fight crime, and his sole purpose in this endeavor is to take down someone called Captain Industry, who he feels is responsible for his mother leaving him as a child and also dying from drug abuse and or drug overdose. And this film, it's dark. It's a great superhero film, but it is extremely dark, and it's saddening almost to see this film, because his real only superpower is his heart and his energy and effort that he puts into wanting to take down this guy that he doesn't even know if he exists. You know what I'm saying? Like he's
more like a Batman.
Yeah, he's fueled by the hatred of the individual he thinks took his mom out, but he doesn't even really know who he's gunning for. And first off, Woody Harrelson does a great job. I mean, on playing both sides of the fence. You know what I'm saying? He commands the screen on all phases, but at the end of the day, like it's a fucked up watch. You know what I'm saying? Like this guy, like every time he suits up, he's the only superhero I've ever seen that every time he goes and engages into an altercation, he gets fucked up. He loses almost every battle he fights, but he just keeps coming back. And he, like I said, his heart is his superpower, and his want to try to do the right thing but just not knowing exactly what direction he's really moving in. It just it's a great film on so many levels. Like I really want to just like dive into it in the deepest way, but I don't want to spoil. You know, I'm sure that this is one of those ones. It's kind of like indie. You know, kind of more on the cult side of things. So
this came out around the time or a little bit after Super, didn't it?
It came out before. It actually came out
Before
in 20.
Super?
I want to say it came out before. It came out in 2010. So
okay, Super came out in 2010.
So did Kick-Ass. It's weird because I feel like around that era there were a lot of these smaller, more independent kind of films that focus on kind of these, you know, out of the way, obscure kind of superhero types. Man, they were definitely experimenting with that vigilante. And kind of started with the Batman mold, but kind of putting a twist on, the character.
Well, in this one, it really focuses on like the realistic element of it. Like this was just a regular guy, you know what I mean? And he had, all the cards stacked against him in so many ways in life. And, like that it was just really cool. Like he didn't touch a meteorite, or he wasn't just blessed with all these super abilities, but his energy and his effort was still the same as if he was. I mean, this motherfucker, every time he engages into a fight, he throws marbles at you first. Fucking marbles, dog. Like I don't know. I've been in a few fights in my life, and I don't know what I'd do if someone threw a fucking handful of marbles at me before we engaged. You know what I mean? It's just like, how do you take that? But
what was his name in Creepshow?
Which man? There's a lot of
Stephen King. Stephen King, when he touched the meteorite. That's the whole thing that got pumped in my head.
I don't know. Yeah, I don't know what his name was.
Sucks his fingers.
Remember, he was a plant. Ended up being a plant guy. I forgot.
Yeah, he was
but that's
wild.
the thing
Said
too.
it. He didn't
Like
become
the movie that Bobby's talking about was what made Kick-Ass, so interesting, and even Super by James Gunn, I believe, to a degree, where it was like if you were, and actually too. Remember too, there was that weird era of real life superheroes. There were folks who were like, I think one guy might have been in Baltimore, Chicago, but it showed that costume.
you talking about it? Yeah, he was in
Toronto.
I thought he was in
Talking about Phoenix Jones in Toronto.
Yeah, I thought he was in, that wasn't Seattle, Washington.
Oh, it might have been Seattle, but yeah, I know what you're talking about. Yeah, people were actually going out there. This was like the early days of the internet. You could find, or YouTube, you find footage of these guys running around, and it was wild.
They were not the New York Angels, the Guardian Angels, but like to the nth degree. Jones was the dude, and he actually even unmasked in public. It was a big thing. Like it was like holy shit. Like it was like it was like Civil War in the comics. He's like, my name is Phoenix Jones, and I've been a vigilante for 2 days. Oh shit.
Right.
Did he ever stop any crime or? I'm surprised people haven't done that yet, dude. Like, it's just, especially now, be more people running around like that. All right.
There's some people running around like that now, but they ain't playing for the good side. I don't think.
Well, shit, everybody got to wear a mask now. we're all superheroes in a sense.
All right. Let me see. What am I go with?
Whatever, COVID commando.
All right, so my first one is going to be from a film called Thor Ragnarok, and I'm going to pick Valkyrie, played by Tessa Thompson, and it's interesting. She's one of the women warriors, of the Viking lineage, and I guess I'm not sure the mythology. Are these the protectors of Valhalla? But either way, what ends up happening with this character that I thought was interesting to actually see that, they go to war, and most of the these warriors are wiped out. She's like the lone survivor of her squad, man. So, and she ends up, coming into this film as an interesting character. I think it's really dope that like she's definitely living like someone from the warrior class, man. Like when I say warrior class, I'm talking about back when the Romans and that era when that was it, the warrior class. You were a professional soldier. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So she's got those ways, you know, she's running around. She gets drunk when she's not on duty. She's getting drunk all the time in this. It just has, you know, a really gruff attitude toward the world. But I think it's dope that the way we, you know, run into this character, you know, she's, you know, an antithesis to Thor, but ends up helping him. But it's pretty cool in the fact too that she also has this kind of survivor's guilt, you know, being the last survivor of that encounter, man. And I just think it's really cool, man, to have this character in there, and I definitely want to see more of her. I think we've got the Love and Thunder coming out soon, and she's definitely has a role in that. I think they started filming that, and it just added. It's like, honestly, to me, like out of all these 20 whatever Marvel movies, I've got Thor Ragnarok in my top 3, man. Just in execution and just fun and thrill, and just and part of it is because of her character. You know what I'm saying, in this film.
Oh, Cory, absolutely. I mean, and a couple of things. When is a part 3 the best part of the trilogy?
Right.
Probably never.
Yeah.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Like, but I mean, with what Taika Waititi did and just the cast, I mean, that trailer was so fun.
Yeah.
And then when you saw the movie, it was 2 hours of a smile on my fucking face.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And even that her take on Valkyrie is very different if you read the books, where obviously the character in the books was very much your, like, you know, Norwegian blonde, you know, Charlotte Flair type looking character. But she owned it and she made it fantastic. And that selection you made is going to tie into how I made my decision for my list, Cory.
Okay. All right, that's what's up, man. So, set it back off the corny, man.
No, Ravenshadow, you didn't do yours yet.
Oh, you didn't? Oh, okay. I thought, we've been chatting. All right, go ahead, Ravenshadow.
No worries, sorry.
I'm stepping over the guest.
No worries. To be fair, Trick or Treat Radio goes 3 or 4 hours every week, so it's very weird for me to be succinct and having a point. We do.
Well, I didn't mind telling you to shut up.
Yeah. We did 45 minutes on Uncrustables last week. It was riveting.
Oh my
Uncrustables. Oh my god. One of the worst PB&Js. The only thing worse is the damn jar that they put the fucking peanut butter and the jelly in the same fucking jar.
And I say that to Ravenshadow because he puts one near his bed, like after he pulls it out of the freezer, and eats it like first thing in the morning. Is that what you do?
2 times it happened. It was a weird fucking couple of nights, okay? It was fucking weird, Corny. I told you that in private and on the podcast.
What? Oh my god. Oh man. All right, so who do you got, Ravenshadow?
So how I broke down my list and how I took it as it was comic adaptations in the cinematic world. Our favorite versions of that. And there's been some fantastic ones, don't get me wrong, but I came at my list as cinematic counterparts that improved upon the original. You know what I'm saying? Like, once again, I co-host on a horror-related podcast, but I'm a comic guy, you know, through and through. You know, I bleed 4 colors, and I think my first word was Krypton. You know what I mean?
There you go.
So, you know, when I pray to God, Kirby, you know, every night. So there's some characters that were like, okay, they're cool in comics, but when they're in a film, they transcend and become something else. So when I think about that, the first name I can think of is Blade, which for me, being a big comic fan, if Blade shows up in Spidey, my first thought is, oh, I guess Spidey's fighting Dracula's this month. But you know, but to see Wesley Snipes come on, and I feel that movie doesn't get enough recognition for kicking off the new wave of superhero films.
Absolutely.
You know, it had a Marvel brand logo on it. And I've argued with some folks, well, people don't know he's a superhero. I don't give a fuck. He still is. And him, Deacon Frost, I mean, that line, some motherfuckers always got to ice skate uphill. Dope. And like, I love the dude with the tats. And they even tried to replicate Blade in the movies and the comics. and it still couldn't work. So I think what Wesley Snipes did as Blade was brilliant, and that movie, along with The Matrix, sold a lot of fucking DVDs back in the day, man.
Oh yeah.
Hell yeah. Hell yeah.
Yeah, and you know what's dope about that too, man? It's like I knew about Blade, but I just knew him as being a Spider-Man. You know, he passed through there, or he's fighting Morbius, helping Spider-Man beat him, and I didn't really think much of him. But watching this film, and I remember distinctly, I was in first year of college, and I'm in Philadelphia, and one of my roommates, they had 4 of us in a 2-bedroom apartment. That's how they did us, but. This motherfucker went out and came back with the Blade bootleg, and it was such a shitty quality. I'm talking the guy taping it like that, but I swear we watched that thing like 20 times because it was just so amazing, just to see that and to see like I don't know, man. Like like even at the time we didn't realize what was going on. Like now in hindsight, people are all Blade set all this stuff off, but in the moment it was just like this is just a badass fucking movie. We weren't thinking about the bigger picture for comic books or whatsoever, but they just did such a good job bringing this thing to life. It made Blade cool as hell, almost like how Iron Man made the Iron Man cool. Because I mean, Iron Man was D-list in the books. I mean, I think I enjoyed the Fing Fang Room Foom John Marita Jr. run, but like other than that,
nice.
Iron Man wasn't getting no shine, and this did that for Blade, and it made Blade just a household name, you know.
And not for nothing, you know, that fucking the soundtrack was dope as fuck. Like every time I think of Blade, I think of my man at the party scene with the flashlights.
Oh yeah, the blood was yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, and I don't listen to that kind of music. I mean, I would if they played that song. Yeah. But
it's crazy because the rave culture was kind of it was in its heyday. Yeah. Even though I wasn't in it, but that music, like,
it was rolling and just you know, like
I should have went to them parties back in the day. That's what I should have been doing.
The whole atmosphere that they set up. You know what I'm saying, for his character to just prevail through everything. Like you said, I mean, Blade was the ultimate badass at that time. Like I didn't even know about the comics before I saw that film. Like I had to backtrack. Yeah. You know what I mean?
And also I'm definitely picking Stephen Dorff for our next villains episode. Like, everything that you needed to make this movie great, it had.
It did. And this was at a time when vampire films were not being made.
They were being made, but they weren't.
But
doing
this was before Twilight.
They weren't doing
before, well. Like we kind of had a hiatus of, really good, notable vampire films, and for them to come out with this kind of film in this fashion at the time was a ballsy move, but it paid off.
Mm-hmm. Well, Bobby, to be fair, remember this was post Interview with the Vampire, so you had your Brad Pitt, Tom Cruise, with that movie.
Yeah, there wasn't no fancy vampires in those.
Yeah, the pain of my existence.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah,
it's pre-sparkle vampires, which I will say this about Twilight. Them playing baseball with their powers was dope. I'll say that.
I still haven't seen one of them movies. But you're right.
Blade comes in, like you leave that movie, you go into a bar in a club, and you walk in like you're Blade, leather coat.
Oh my God. Yeah.
It might have had that might be the best opening sequence I think that I can think of.
Yeah, that's definitely up there. Yeah, that's for a superhero film.
Intro, that intro of his was something else.
Yeah, it's definitely dope. And also, I feel like those vampires in that film too, it made them sleazy again. Like it made them dirty and nasty and
yeah.
They
had Tracy Lords as one of the vampires.
Yeah. Right? Tracy Lords, Udo Kier, fucking my main man Donald Logue, who's brilliant at everything.
Yeah. This is great, man. I think I got a copy of that around here on Blu-ray. Yeah.
I need to get a Blu-ray of that. That and Blade 2. Fuck Blade
1 and 2 are dope.
Yes.
Yeah.
After that,
And there was no other movies. They didn't make no other Blades after the first two. What are y'all talking about? What are you talking about? They didn't make no Blade.
Pardon my memory.
So you're saying there was no Sticky Fingers TV show, right?
Oh, I did like that.
See,
though.
that's what I'm saying.
I did like that.
Oh, I never watched the TV
about that.
show
He
at all.
always defends this shit.
You know what? I'll tell you what about that TV show, Cornelius. Those cheaper streaming things like Philo and things like that you can get on your Roku or whatever. I forgot. I think one of them has that series. You could stream it, and
Really?
you know what I like about it? It is cheesy, Sticky Fingers, and all that. But I like the way they expand the lore, like because we actually see him. Like Bokeem is in that. Bokeem Woodbine pops up.
Oh,
and
really?
Yeah, and he's one of the guys that like you learned that he pops up in this as an adversary to Blade, but he's also one of the characters that Blade like linked up with while he was living in the streets and trying to fend for himself. It has some deeper Blade lore in it. It's worth a watch. It's not super great, but it's worth a watch, man. I enjoyed it. They did some cool stuff in it.
You had me at Bokeem Woodbine.
Yeah. He pops up for like a couple episodes, man. Yeah.
Really? Sold.
Yeah. I liked it. I enjoyed it, man. It was short lived. I think they did like maybe 2 seasons, but they were pretty short. But I love that show. All right, back to you, Corny, man.
Okay, Cory just mentioned this character of mine as a D-list character. I actually read comic books growing up, and I knew about Iron Man.
You still D, we all knew about him.
I know. He,
defend his honor. Go ahead. Corny.
No, I mean, movie-wise,
overall, but what everybody's talking about Iron Man this or Stevie Rogers that, I was actually a nerd, back in the day. Actually reading about these fellas, But whenever Iron Man came out, I didn't really know how they were going to do anything based on him because really it's just a man in a suit.
Yeah.
All the tech that Jon Favreau put in it and Robert Downey Jr. kind of, embodying that character just made him just super cool. But overall, it's Tony Stark Iron Man. It's my number 2.
Nice.
He pretty much kicked off the MCU and kicked ass doing it. I love that first Iron Man film. It's one of my favorites. And like I said, Robert Downey Jr. did a good job in that as that character. But that's my number 2. That's my number 2 superhero, character.
And like you said, I mean, just to piggyback on what you said, like with him being so prolific in the MCU, he made him a household name. You know what I'm saying? Like everybody knows who Iron Man is now.
Yeah.
I knew who Iron Man was from the jump.
Yeah, but some people.
I did too.
He was one of the ones that was easily overlooked. You know what I'm saying? In the melee of everything else that was going on in the comic world.
Are you watching Venom? Turn that shit off.
I watched it so you wouldn't comment on what was on in the background. Like
I just thought about what that was. Go ahead, Bob.
But yeah, no.
Damn it.
Like I said, just to the direction and Robert Downey Jr. and everything that the films brought to it. Like I said, they made him. They turned him from Pippen to Jordan. You know what I'm saying?
There you go.
That's a good analogy.
You know what I mean?
And that's you're not wrong, Bobby. Once again, like to Corey's point, there's characters who are known in the comic book medium, but like your Nana might not know who that character is. But you couldn't deny that when that flick dropped, it hit like a fucking Stark missile and blew up. And the not only the story of Downey Jr.'s comeback from being fucked up and eventually going to like real big boy prison after being found in that kid's bedroom, wasn't doing anything wrong, just was happening in the wrong fucking bedroom. Who hasn't done that at some point in their life? And when his parents came in, they were like, "Hey, honey, why can't you go to sleep? Robert Downey Jr., why are you in my son's bedroom?"
You know what though? The only thing I really wish the MCU would have included was his drinking, like, because that was a big comic book moment. Like, I still remember that cover with, you know what I'm saying, when he's like, "Yo, I got an alcohol problem." And I wish they would have kind of incorporated that into the story, but they kind of did their own thing. I used to like it's crazy. what was it? Iron Man 3. That used to be one of my least favorites, but in hindsight, after rewatching it and going through it, it's dope because you see how his experiences have molded him. Like he's he has one of the biggest heart, and I think he's the heart of the Avengers, because you realize the actions, the Stark Industry weapons blowing up, the collateral damage, like that affected him. He kind of has PTSD from that, and it affects what he does in Infinity War and Civil War and even Endgame, and I think he has one of the more complex character arcs, man. Like I said, man, he wasn't a really super big character. Like Avengers, that was my second choice. If I didn't have an X-Men book out that month, then all right, I'm gonna buy this Avengers and I'll get some of these. Or Iron Man, he's kind of cool, but and like I said, I love that the Fing Fang Foom shit when he was fighting the Mandarin, the rings. I ended up getting like a bulk box of comics, and I had like a 12-issue run of that shit, and it was just amazing. And I was like, yeah, Iron Man can be cool, but I'm still mad that we didn't get Fing Fang Foom on the screen. I was waiting for that, the dragon, but they kind of teased us a little bit, but it never materialized. But long story short, like, he definitely is a great cinematic character, man, in this whole series. Absolutely. Man. He's the glue. He pulls it around together, and even when you get to Endgame, the way it all circles around and centers to him making the ultimate sacrifice to save the world, it's amazing, it's great, man. They did a great job with it.
What in the world? Pretty much everything.
Yeah. All the other worlds too. They lost 50%.
they made him. They made him. 1,000 feet taller than what he was in the comic books. Like me personally, my more memorable moments of the Iron Man figure is actually of War Machine, because I was more attracted to, the like color of War Machine and the the color of. I was like, oh, he looks cooler than But then again, I didn't really deep dive into the issues. But with watching the MCU, like I said, Iron Man. Without Iron Man, none of it happens. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? He has his foot firmly planted in the ground as being Ace Boone Coon. You know what I'm saying? In the MCU, and that will not change, I don't think.
I think we still should have a stilt man at some point in MCU. That's just me. That's just me being a big old nerd.
So who you got next, man?
So next, I'm gonna bring it back to a film that Corny already brought up, Kick-Ass, but I'm gonna talk about Hit Girl. She is actually the daughter of Big Daddy. She was trained by him, and pretty much she's probably one of the most badass female characters that I've seen on film, in a very long time. I mean, I think she's like, I don't know, all of about maybe 12, maybe 13, she was played by, I want to say Chloe Grace
Moretz.
Yeah.
Moretz, something. Yeah.
I fuck names up all the time. So, but yeah, man. Pretty much. Big Daddy trained her. And he just, he groomed her to be the ultimate assassin. And the thing about her role in this film is whenever she's on screen, they emphasize the fact that she is still a child, but she's also so much more than that. Like, they play this little music, like the first time she's out there kicking ass, they play this. It's almost like something that you would hear coming out of an ice cream truck. Pop
yeah,
it's like fucking ice cream.
Like,
but she's out there fucking
music.
throwing scorpion fucking get over here things and fucking kicking ass and knives and all kinds of shit, and wise beyond her years. Like, it's like to see her character just embrace the role that she had bestowed on her because of Big Daddy's damage and because of the course path that he took in his life. Like, he had an agenda, he wanted to execute the second half of his life in a certain kind of way, and he wanted to make sure that she was going to be there with him to help him execute this plan, but also keep her safe. Like, he was a good father, as far as keeping her protected and keeping her knowledgeable of the life that they were living. But, you know, on the flip side of the coin, it's like, you know, the safest route is to do nothing at all, obviously. But, you know, they wanted to be superheroes. And she was great. Like, whenever she rages out, you know what I mean? Like, when she gets pissed off and she starts fucking kirking and doing her shit, like, she's like a fucking ninja. Like, I mean, like, I don't know if it's because she's young and still agile and she can just fucking do all this shit and not be sore the next day, or what's going on. But, like, I mean, she was just ready, like, for anything that came her way. She was proficient in, you know, knives, guns, hand-to-hand combat. She's beating up people that are twice her size and doing it with a Colgate smile.
No, killing them, beating them up, killing them, and then looking at the next person like, yeah, bring that shit. And, you know, I love that shit. Like, she is by far my favorite character in this film. And, you know, I love the relationship between, you know, her and her father. I love, you know, everything about that, the whole dynamic that it brings. But she finds a way to, like, still stand out above all the other characters to me, because you're so engaged. You're like, well, what the fuck? I mean,
she's like a Robin on steroids, yo.
Yeah, and I mean, and it's because she's so little and just so, like, young, and just, I mean, the first scene she's in, I mean, my man's fucking testing out the fucking bulletproof vest with her. He's like, yeah, you know, 2 more rounds and we'll go bowling later. Pow. Yeah. You know, I mean, like that kind of shit. I mean, it always stood out to me, and I love the fact that they really emphasize that they emphasize the fact that she is still this young child, but just so much more equipped to handle not only an adult world, but, you know, the criminals of the world and anyone else who wants to bring any kind of foolishness and whatever, you know what I'm saying? Like, she's levels above everyone in her age bracket, and I think they did a great job at really just
dope,
doing
man.
that.
She's crazy,
super dope. Probably one of my favorite female, you know, comic book characters ever in life, just because of that alone. And, you know, I think that they did a great job. This film really highlighted all of that shit.
Well, no, that's true, Bobby. And I mean, you could argue that it was the closest thing we've seen to a cinematic Damian Wayne. If you read comics, where, you know, Bruce's son is the asshole Robin. Like, he's the dick. And there's been folks complain, why would you bring a child to combat? Which, once again, you really shouldn't do. But that's the age where you want to mold them. Imagine giving like a 13-year-old, 14-year-old kid, you know, Call of Duty. But now you're doing Call of Duty fucking for real. Right. That's how you build soldiers. It's why you get them at 17 and 18 in the army. Mm-hmm. So now imagine Hit Girl at fucking 26.
You see what I'm saying?
I'm still holding out for, hopefully,
great point.
We'll get a Matilda movie from Luc Besson, but he just feels content with making bad movies now.
You're right.
Yeah,
Good pull, Corey.
That's the easiest one. Give us Matilda older fucking people up, like, and then you won't have to do no bullshit like, what was that? Red Sparrow? No, it wasn't Red Sparrow. What was that other one he did?
Black Swan?
With the blonde.
No, that was Anna.
Anna, yeah. I'm like, come on, man. What are you doing? Who's next? Is it me? Oh, it's me. All right. So my next one is.
Hey, Cory, it's you.
My next one is going to be Winter Soldier. And,
nice.
And it's interesting for me because this guy started off as a bad guy, popping up in the Winter Soldier film. You know, he didn't start off as a bad guy. Let's go back to First Avenger. He's Captain America's buddy. You know, they sign up, they enlist together, and kind of go different ways. You know, but they both end up, you know, kind of part of that secret super soldier serum experiment. But they go different ways, man. So what's interesting about this guy? pops up in the Winter Soldier, which is probably still my number one Marvel film, but like I really love this character just for the fact that Bucky Barnes is probably to me the best hand-to-hand fighter in the MCU, man. You know, he's not as powered up as like a Superman or whatever, but he be kicking ass, yo. Like especially in Civil, like okay, so we get him in the Winter Soldier, and he's this mysterious figure, you know. This opens up as a bad guy. Him and Cap have some just crazy battles, man. He's fucking everybody up. But then we get to Civil War, and we get the thing that he's doing a lot of stuff for the government or whatever entity, and he's not under control. You know, they say these words, and he gets hypnotized and put in a trance, and he'll follow whatever order you send him. And it's kind of interesting because as important as Starks is, I think Bucky is. Winter Soldier is equally as important. This guy has changed the world. Like I think he took out Kennedy in the MCU. If you like you know,
oh shit,
he killed Stark's parents. I'm not sure if he got Spider-Man's parents, but you know, I could imagine that happening. But yeah, basically this guy has been used against his will, you know, as pretty much a government assassin. You know, if you need some shit done, you send him out there to, you know, do the job, and he gets it done, man. But it's amazing. So then we get to Civil War, you know what I'm saying, where we get the conflict with Starks and Captain America and the whole kind of Sokovia Accords, a way to try to rein in these superheroes. Everyone's got to register and all that. It got more in depth in the comics, but I think the film did a good job. You know, I kind of wish they kind of referenced it more in the later films. You know what I'm saying? The Sokovia stuff. But what's so great about it is, you know, like I said, he comes in again. We got to bring this guy in. Like he's under the control. He does some terrible shit. But Cap is like, that's my buddy, and he's not. You know, he's not. You know, it's not him. You know what I'm saying? We find out he killed Starks' parents, and Starks finds out, and he's pissed off. He's trying to take Bucky out, but I love Civil War so much because he whoops everybody's ass, yo, in that fucking movie.
He sure does.
Even Black Panther, he's like, yo, we coming to a stalemate. But he's such a dope character. And then we get later on, you know, what I thought was interesting, man. Like, it's kind of glossed over, you know, those scenes of him in Wakanda, kind of in recovery. And it goes back to what we were talking about earlier when you look at the Falcon and the Winter Soldier, and there's that moment where he's sitting there with the psychiatrist or the shrink, and he tells her, he's like, Wakanda was the first time that I felt peace in a long time, but that was broken up because then boom, back to fighting. You know, that's all he's known. He's been alive for like 100 years, and most of that he's spent fighting, you know, and usually not, you know, of his own
free will.
Yeah, free will. Yeah. And it's just a great character. Now he's, you know, away from the movies, he's going on to this Falcon and Winter Soldier where he's trying to rebuild himself. And I think it's dope because he carries that guilt. You know what I'm saying? Even though technically you could argue, well, you didn't have no control of that. You had no agency, but he's still guilty of the things he did while he was, you know, the Winter Soldier.
Yeah.
Well, Corey, there's so much to unpack in everything you just said. On one hand, it could be considered like, you know, you're an alcoholic in recovery, you know, and trying to make amends, you know, which eventually I'll have to do. But before that, you know, I like his little "My name is Earl" checklist where he has to go off. He's like, I'm not the Winter Soldier anymore. I'm no longer an assassin. You know, and that scene with the older Asian gentleman was fucking broke my fucking heart. In some of that shit.
Spoiler territory if you haven't seen it, but fuck it, that shit been out. We don't care. But go ahead, Ravenshadow. Yeah, talk about it.
But take it away from that, like him going back to people who he sort of crossed in life, but a great example of a character that in the comics, which at least I know Corny and I can speak to, you know, when we started reading comics, Bucky was retconned, which like there was no issue where Captain America ended back in World War II. When they brought him back in Avengers 4, they created that backstory that Bucky died, and that's what caused Steve to go into the water. And when they brought Bucky back, I want to say it was during the Bush second administration, and they brought him back as a Winter Soldier. It was kind of brilliant because there was always a rule in comics where, you know, Uncle Ben will always be dead, and so will Bucky. Those are the only characters that will never come back to life.
Mm-hmm.
But there was never an issue of Bucky died. We were just told that. And I think that repackaging and repurposing him as the Winter Soldier was brilliant. And cinematically, we had this amazing character that is killing it, especially in the show with him and Anthony Mackie, who has the charisma of a fucking, almost like a Rock-like charisma that everything this fucking dude does.
Mm-hmm.
I've seen all his fucking cheesy movies on Netflix and adore the fuck out of all of them. Adore the fuck out of all of them.
Thanks, Clarence.
It'll get you to start. Yeah, Clarence.
He lives at home with both
8
parents.
Mile.
Right. It's fucking Papa Doc. It's Papa Doc back in the day.
He'll get you to turn it on, but I don't know if it's gonna be good. Oh my god. Yeah, I love it, man. I love the character. I love what they're doing with the show, and I love that the show connects to the movies. But he's one of my favorites, hands down, man. Like his like honestly, like I would love to see him. Even though I think Wonder Woman's stronger, but that would be a great fight. Because to me, those two are just the most badasses. Yeah. Like that'd just be a straight. Whoo! They're gonna destroy buildings with them two fighting. Like that'll be.
Oh, it'd be sexy. I want the aftermath.
Yeah, definitely.
There'd be some tension.
When it comes to hand-to-hand combat, I mean, it's just like I said, it's so
crazy.
visually appealing. I mean, my man is so
like
swift.
the stairwell scene on the Civil War. Oh my god!
Yeah,
like,
everything he does. I mean, it's just like
it's just like he fights with a confidence. I can't even, like he knows the next 5 moves he's going to make before.
Right.
It's just so.
But it's
crazy.
also like he knows the moves that his opponent's going to make too.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
I can't explain.
He's
it,
very
dude.
well calculated.
I mean, think about it. He's 100 years. That's a lot of experience. That's a fucking hell of a lot of experience.
If that's what it takes to throw them things that way.
Yeah, it's amazing, man. He's an interesting character, man. So shit is Ravenshadow again?
Yeah. Sorry, I know I'm jib jabbering. I apologize.
No, it's all good, man. This is good, man. You know, we're having fun.
So my next choice, once again, is a character that I know of in the books, but don't have a big love for. And granted, he may have started out as a villain, maybe the most important villain for a while cinematically, but later walked the line, not as much as Johnny Cash, but as a potential hero. And I would say Tom Hiddleston's portrayal of Loki, man, was fucking killer. I mean, in the comics, Corny, this, he had the big fucking gold.
Yeah, horn. Yeah.
And I read some Thor. I read some of the Walt Simon. I read a bunch of the Walt Simons and stuff. I read a lot of the stuff with Eric Masterson, who later became Thunderstrike. But aside from the Acts of Vengeance miniseries, Loki just didn't really do it for me. But cinematically, his arc from the Thor films to Avengers, and then obviously Ragnarok, and Infinity War was killer. And he definitely captured the hearts of a lot of emo goth girls. And any skinny long-haired dude I can relate to. So I like that. I think his portrayal in the films made me like the character more than reading the comics. That's very rare for me. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I mean, that's the thing too. Like, I was aware of Thor and I knew Loki was a thing, but the characterization of him in the films is just so compelling, man. Like you love to, like you need good bad guys, and he's one of these good bad guys. But also, the arc that he takes in the films, he ends up, helping the heroes. He becomes a hero himself in a way,
Right.
Yeah. It's definitely.
Yeah, I kind of remember what I remember of Loki. He was kind of like a 2-dimensional character, or probably less than that in the comics. He'd just be around, but it isn't the same how he is.
He was like Thor's Mitsuplik, like just come through every now and then.
In a way, but it
just to annoy him.
Then like he is in the middle. Yeah.
And not for someone, for nothing, but for someone that's a little more green to this, like I said, I love to root for the villain, but he was very easy to root for because of the things that he was doing in these films. Like, it's like you know, you see the transition that he's making, and it's like, oh, he's doing it for the greater good. You know what I mean? Like for
not really a greater good, just because
personal and betterment, but he's trying to, you know, he's trying to do in his mind the right thing. You know what I'm saying? And
what gets me about his character is like, you know, he's definitely this bad guy, but you know, there's countless moments where you could see the good in him. That's what it is. That's what it is. It's not like he's inherently good, but it's like, all right, yeah, I'm a bastard, but I'm not that bad of a bastard. You know what I'm saying? Like,
And such great dialogue in Ragnarok when Hulk is smashing Thor around. He's like, "That's what it feels like," or you know, like
that was great. Yeah. But also there's that moment.
That's it.
But there's also the moment where in Infinity War when Thanos is like, he's about to just kill Thor, and then you see Loki's his facade just crumbles. He's like, no, stop it. Like you know, that's my brother, you know, like, yeah, I'm talking shit, but that's still my brother, you know what I'm saying? So don't kill him, you know, like it's those moments where his goodness shines. He's not a surface level good dude, but you know,
but he's got good in him. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. And that's what I mean, like when he was searching for the greater good, I don't mean like in every move that he made, but within himself, you know what I'm saying? And it showed. And like I like this character.
Yeah. He's great.
He's easy to root for.
Yeah, definitely. So what's it back to Cornelius? Was the last round?
Back to me. Last round. Overall, Spider-Man might be my favorite superhero of
you
all
lucky
time.
You dropped your list first, yo, because that was the number one on my list. He's my
Spider-Man.
Yep.
He's my favorite superhero of all time. Him and Batman kind of tied, but third time around, third incarnation of Spider-Man in MCU, Mr. Tom Holland. That is my number one. Overall, you brought him into the Marvel universe and reintroduced him in Civil War. Same. Well, I guess Bucky was already there. But anyway, you bring him into Civil War, introduced him to Stark. Stark kind of upgrades his suit and kind of gives him a purpose, you know, in that film. You kind of have a brief kind of thoughts about like why he does what he does. You don't really get the whole Uncle Ben story, but you also get like very you also get a very hot Aunt May this time around.
Marissa Tomei.
Played by Marissa Tomei.
The best Aunt May ever.
But it makes sense though, because the thing about in the comics, like we get this idea that his parents were you know, they were kind of maybe 30 when they died, you know, just in the comic book world. So why, if Aunt May is their aunt, why is she always elderly? You know, like it doesn't make no sense. Right. So this retcon of Aunt May, I think is great. You know what I'm saying? It's a good job. You know,
fuck yeah.
It made so much sense. I mean, like, I don't know why the Aunt May was always older than George Burns.
Yeah,
you know,
It's Sally Field. The Garfield film, Sally Field wasn't that bad, but you know, it was an improvement. But you know, overall, we have Marissa Tomei now.
Because Aunt May remembers the first Civil War and not with Spider-Man.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, but go ahead. What was you saying, Corny?
Oh, go ahead. I
mean,
I think I might have been done.
I mean,
but overall, he's just one of my favorite Marvel comic characters. You know, and I'm glad they really introduced him to this bigger world, and you know, he get into more adventures or whatever. And
to your point, like they brought him in properly. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like with what we got with the other films, you know what I'm saying? It was kind of hard to really get that, like, you know, he's a high school kid still trying to figure it out feeling, you know what I mean? Like it didn't translate well with this one. Like you can tell that not only is he still trying to figure out his superpowers, his purpose in life, but he's also still trying to go through puberty. He's still trying to figure out how to tell fucking Mary Jane that he likes her. You know what I mean? Like
Right.
there's a lot of things that he's still just trying to figure out, and they really demonstrate that well. You know what I'm saying? But also showing that, you know, he has a lot of untapped potential. You know what I mean? Like there's like sky's the limit with him, and with Starks giving him that suit and kind of, you know, helping him through it. It's almost like, you know, he's coaching him in a sense where I don't think, I don't think we got that element in any of the other films. Like it was just him trying to figure it out and be the best Spider-Man he could be on his own accord, where this one he actually, you know, he felt so much more purposeful.
It's interesting, man, because like if you're a comic book head, you would know like that Reed Richards was kind of playing the role that Tony Stark does in these films versions of him. Like Reed Richards was the one giving him new suit tech and kind of being a mentor, you know what I'm saying, in a way that, you know. But then, you know, they didn't have access to the Fantastic Four. That was over there at Fox, so you know they make Tony the and it worked out great, you know.
No, that's fair. I mean, like, and it's funny, like Parker being in school was still in the 60s. Like when most of us started reading the comics, at least in the late 70s or 80s, Parker was either in college or whatnot. You know, so it's like when people always fucking be like, Batman shouldn't have fucking Robin. Okay, well, Batman debuted in Detective 27 and Robin debuted in Detective 38. I'm not good with math. That's not a long time.
That's not a long time.
You know, so when everyone talks about we need fucking Batman without Robin. Son, like Batman #1, Robin's on the cover, dude. Like the dude's there.
He's there.
And same thing with Parker. Now, around the Civil War era, Parker was rolling with Stark in the books, and he even gave him that
I remember
the spider armor. And Parker's like, well, why is it red and yellow? Well, those are my colors. You roll with me now. You know what I mean? You're my crew. But I thought it was brilliant, and I think you didn't need to see an origin. All you had to see was, I know a guy. See that backdrop of Queens and a young skinny kid coming in. You know everything you need to know about Spider-Man.
And we know the origins, so you definitely start treating us like we know that. Like these characters have been around for so long, like, and the origins aren't that complicated, man. Just let's get into the groove of the show us the action.
Especially if it's a high profile name, like you said. If it's a new character or someone that, you know, 90% of the world might not be privy to, then give us a little bit of a backdrop. But and there are a few key names that we were
even spared the Uncle Ben death. I feel like the shop owner. I feel like that shop owner that got injured, not killed, kind of made the same point that Uncle Ben's death did. You know, in these films. I love them, man. I love the Spider-Man. Like it's like you wait for them to get it right, and this is them. I feel like getting it right, yo. You like,
and then they continued to get it right as those films progressed into his own.
I can't wait for this new one.
Stories, you know what I'm saying? They gave
everybody wear your fucking mask so I can see Spider-Man 3.
They gave him a solid platform to springboard off of in the MCU.
Who didn't fucking cry when fucking I don't want to go? I don't want to go.
I didn't cry, but I was close, boy. It was
right. A little bit of, I'm not saying crying. Game 7
I was close.
I might have. I'm slightly emotional at times
because it was so funny, man. I think Tom Holland's acting ass did a little improv there because everybody went quietly and they said he do that extra line in there. Oh, like man, get out of here!
And fuck that kid for being so perfect and have his own team. And he can like do those flips for real. Like fuck him, he's so fucking awesome. But I hate him.
Man, he's good, man. He's gonna do great things.
Fuck those guys.
Really. I couldn't do a fucking flip if someone paid me.
So who got the next? Is you?
I think it's me.
Right.
So I'm gonna finish things off with probably one of my favorite superheroes ever since I can remember, the Crow. And
there you go.
I'm gonna start with saying this, okay? I watched this fucking film 2 times knowing that we were going to do this show in 2021.
I watched it a few times.
This film came out in 1994 and it still fucking holds up. It's still amazing today just like it was when I was in 5th grade and I fucking snuck into the theater to see it. It's fucking amazing.
You were in 5th grade in 1994? What the fuck?
Well,
I am old.
I don't know what to tell you.
High school that year. Am I not right, Ravenshadow? We graduated from high school that year.
Yes, sir, baby.
Well,
A few weeks
I
out,
was
watch the Crow.
I was a junior in '94. No, I was a sophomore, I think. Whatever the fuck they call it.
So it's established I'm the spring chicken of the crew, but
Hurry up, spring chicken. I feel old as hell now. You were in 5th grade when that movie came out for you.
You like a nugget in the air fryer.
You know what I'm saying? That's what I'm saying. I feel like I'm 90. Goddamn. You know what I'm saying? Back problems and all kinds of shit. But never.
A nugget in an air fryer. I fucking lost it.
Oh man. Ooh, that threw me off. Talking about air frying. I'm thinking about what I'm gonna eat for dinner now. But nevertheless, The Crow, man, debuted to us May 11th, 1994, and Brandon fucking Lee. Okay, he gives us this portrayal of this character, and pretty much, I don't think there's anyone in the world who hasn't seen it, but it's. And if you haven't, goddamn, I don't know, man. Kick your own self in the shin.
Hey, I own this on a lot of formats.
That's what I'm saying.
Digital, I got Blu-ray, I got.
But pretty much, it's the night before, his wedding. You know what I'm saying? He's a musician named Eric Draven, and him and his fiance are brutally murdered by the local gang that kind of just terrorizes everybody around, and they go through great lengths to not only kill him and toss him out of a window, but they also take out a lot of not cool stuff on his wife, and all they did really was just talk about like their displeasures with the housing.
They were like advocates against the housing.
I mean,
that's not
just
all.
Like,
I mean, usually when you do fight the power, there's consequences.
Yeah, I mean, but they were just like, but I mean, fuck, like, like if I called my fucking landlord and was like, yo, the fucking dishwasher is broke, I wouldn't expect for, these kind of things. I mean, they did, kind of, push the envelope a little bit as far as, their displeasures with their living environment. And so, yeah, it's the night before Halloween, and, there's a handful of guys, I want to say maybe 4 or 5 of them, they come in and they have their way with their house, their situation, and them as a whole. And coincidentally enough, the next year, he rises from the grave to avenge not only his death, but the death of his wife, and take out all of these guys in superb fashion. You know what I mean? Like he and his power resides in this crow, you know what I mean? Like it's like it kind of like helps him, see things further along.
It's kind of like a guide.
Yeah, it's like he gets the bird vision. But the thing is that he can't be hurt. You know what I'm saying? You got to hurt the crow to hurt him. You know what I mean? And the thing about this film that is just so awesome on so many levels is like the story as a whole. You know what I mean? Like it's when you get down to the meat and potatoes of it, it's a love story. You know what I'm saying? And he pretty much rises from the dead to avenge his wife. You know what I mean? And it wasn't really about him. He wanted to avenge his wife because of the wrongdoings that were done to her. And the way that they just take this atmosphere and this darkness and this gritty ass story and then just make it into something so darkly beautiful. I mean, it's a gorgeous film.
I feel like this is one where, I mean, Ravenshadow kind of alluded to this, where honestly, I mean, I've thumbed through the original Crow graphic novel this was based on. I feel like in a lot of ways, this kind of improves on that version of it. It transcends that. It makes it a lot more, like, you know, it resonates a lot more than that book did for me. Because I mean, if folks don't know, the author of the graphic novel, he made the book because his wife was killed by a drunk driver,
right?
And he was in such grief that creating this story was his outlet to kind of help him overcome that. You know, I think it's James O'Barr. I think that was the guy's name.
Yeah.
And you know, we end up with this film, but in a lot of ways, I feel like this film kind of gets to the point a little bit more, and just the world that it creates, the characters, the Crow itself.
And that's the thing, like,
and Brandon Lee playing the Crow, like
the character design, okay, like the Crow, you know, with him looking with the sad face and his design, and like every time he's on the fucking screen is captivating. Like you're watching, and then you know, as the more research I did and the more I looked into it, like he did all these stunts. Like it's really raining and he's out there fucking jumping and flipping and doing all this shit that only a ninja could do. You know what I mean? And you know, not for nothing, the story behind him losing his life doing this film makes it that much more monumental as a film, because of the, you know, the element of the film as a whole. You know what I mean? Like it's sad that, you know, he lost his life, you know what I mean? And it's tragic and it's fucked up. Okay. And then when you read everything, it just, none of it seems to make sense, but it really just, it hits so heavy on the structure of this film as a whole. You know what I mean? Like fuck, you know what I mean? And you know, I don't know, like I said, this film, it's giving me, like, you know, it's hard for me to talk about because I really enjoy this movie. You know what I'm saying? Like I said, there's nothing that I don't like about it. You know what I'm saying? The fight sequences and everything that is great about this film. There is an overlying darkness. You know what I'm saying? There's no sunshine in this film, but his character shines so bright in the darkest of times that it would give anybody a sense of a light at the end of the tunnel. You know what I'm saying? Because everything that he's doing is so meaningful, so purposeful, and so understandable that, you know what I mean, you're rooting for him the whole time. You know what I'm saying? There is not
this is a great character, bro. Like I mean, just overall, and like I said, man, a lot of people don't know that it is based on a comic book. Like, you know, that's, you know, but it resonates. It holds up. Like that's why I keep watching. This is one that I put on like several times a year. I just throw it on. Like it can't rain all the time.
It can't rain all the time.
and it's badass.
You know, you guys are 100%, and I've actually spoken more about The Crow this last month than I have in the last 20 years. I did a couple of guest spots on Pop Culture Purgatory, where we dissected the soundtrack, the comic, and the movie. And to Corey's point, you know, we both graduated high school and saw this in theaters, and that was huge. I mean, once again, I knew it was a comic. I read it after. I saw the movie at 17, but didn't read the comic until 18. And I think this is an example of improving upon the book.
That book's been reprinted a bunch too, hadn't it?
It has. There's actually a really beautiful hardcover edition that came out that has some scenes that weren't in the film that were going to be included, but obviously Brandon Lee's death. And I was a huge Brandon Lee mark, not only from the Bruce Lee influence, but from Showdown Little Tokyo, Rapid Fire,
yeah, man, all day.
I saw that in theaters. That was fucking dope with Powers Booth.
He was just hitting his stride, yo.
Yep.
You know, and that's a shame. And OSHA really should have been called on set because there was some badass shit going on during that.
Yeah,
and
man.
Brandon Lee had some things out there. But reading the book recently, I find the book holds up more. The book was in the 80s, 90s, independent by Caliber Press, I believe. But the movie improved upon it. I think even it has all the, you know, the characters of Fun Boy, Tintin, that they were all there. But the movie made it so much more concise. And I still can't. I will always quote The Day Before Halloween, Devil's Night in Detroit. Halloween ain't till mañana. That line of the fucking dude is killer. And the movie, once again, I find it hard pressed to leave that movie in a theater and not want to run and jump on rooftops.
Yeah, in the rain.
In the rain, right?
I'm just looking this up. It came out in May 13th of 1994.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
It doesn't seem like, like right now, this day and age, that's a summer movie.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Despite all the Marvel drops.
That's when Marvel drops. But I
didn't see it till it came to a home video. Like, I wasn't in the theater.
Man, I saw that shit in the
so probably
theater.
like later.
I saw this in the theater, and I saw Pulp Fiction that same summer in the theater.
Yeah. And the last thing I'm gonna say about this film is that, to the untrained eye, somebody could watch this and think or perceive the Crow as possibly a villain due to what he's doing, due to his actions.
Because I just you bringing this film up, I've got a villain for my villains list.
Oh yeah,
he wasn't a villain.
No, he wasn't. He wasn't. Like I didn't see
Ernie Hudson in this film.
I didn't see villainy at all.
No, 10-10, don't fire it up. That's my dude. Dang,
but
little bitty worm on a big fucking hook.
Yeah,
I think that they did a great job at just really pushing the vigilante element and having something to fight for, having something to believe in, and having something to love. You know what I mean? Like it was a just great film. I have nothing negative to say about it. Never will.
Yep.
All right.
Still holds up.
So, is it on me?
Yeah.
All right. My last one is going to be Raphael from 1990's Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles movie.
Ooh.
And this is a film that's wild and
one that's cool but rude, right?
But I think it holds up, man, because we get 4 pet turtles that ended up getting in some kind of chemical spill accident, and they get mutated and turned into turtles. But an interesting Easter egg is Kevin Eastman and Peter Laird, when they made this comic, there's a panel in there where you see a guy walking walking stick, a blind kid in a cane. And unofficially that's Daredevil. So pretty much the Turtles and Daredevil were created in the same chemical accident. But there's ends up being 4 of them. They're all brothers, loosely. I don't know if they were genetically related, but we consider them brothers. And Raphael is one of them. There's Leonardo, Donatello, Raphael, and I think Raphael stands out to me just because of his attitude and his anger. And this film is greatly personified.
Don't forget about Michelangelo.
Yeah, he's there too.
He was the fun one, yeah.
But I think the personalities are greatly emphasizing this. I think Raphael kind of loses his anger when we get to the cartoon adaptation, but this film adaptation is almost, if you were a fan of these graphic novels, they were almost dead on. There's certain panels in this thing or certain scenes that just jump right off the comic book page. You know what I'm saying? Before Robert Rodriguez did Sin City, it's almost shot for shot, even some of the dialogue. But what's interesting about Raphael is in hindsight, thinking about it, it's like I think he was the one that kind of personified their condition. Like he was the only one that seemed to be kind of annoyed that he was this turtle. You know what I'm saying? And I think that's where some of the anger comes from. It's like, I'm out here and I've got to, hide who I am, or I can't move as freely as a human being is, but I'm also this thing that's not fully an animal. And I think that comes across, I think that's how his anger, that's where the anger comes from, man. And he's such a great character, man. And in a lot of ways, here's their heart. You know what I'm saying? You got Leonardo taking a leadership role. Donatello's the brains. Michelangelo's kind of the easygoing, the jokester. But I like Raphael's. He's their angst. He's their rage, and it comes across in this film, man. Like his whole attitude, even the point where he gets kind of annoyed with his brothers and he's like, "Man, I'm going out." Yeah. You know what I'm saying? He throws on the hat and the trench coat, and he goes to see Critters. Critters 2? Was it?
Yeah, two.
I always thought that was like a nice little Ben Grimm thing that he did in that film.
Too. Yeah. And it's crazy, man. I love that character so much. Like even I love that one scene too, man, where he's just going out the roof to blow off steam. He's like, I'm just so pissed off that I'm a turtle. He goes on the roof and he's doing kicks, and then the Foot Clan zooms in on him.
Oh my god!
And he still fights them.
Yeah, and I love his first interaction with Casey Jones.
Oh my god!
Yeah.
I mean, it was great because, like you said, I mean, he pushes the fact that he not only has a chip on his shoulder, but he has a chip in his shell. Like he's fucked off with everything. He's fucked off with everything, and it's understandable. Yeah. But someone's got to be angry about this shit. You know what I'm saying? And to your point, like you said, he just.
You don't know what a crumpet is to know what a cricket is.
Yeah, I mean, it's just to your point. I mean, it was just like, and he was still just as badass as any of the other turtles. He was still just a ninja fighter like all the rest of them. But he, that anger that he toted, that
Well, since we talk about movie interpretation, I'm gonna tap into the animated TMNT that came out, which I think is excellent. A lot of people overlooked it because it's animated, but that was dead on Turtles. They even had the personalities. But that fight scene that he has with Leonardo, that was one of the greatest moments. Like, you watch that fight scene and you feel like, Raph was about to kill Leonardo right there, bro. Yeah. It could have went down, but like then, oh my god, he's just so amplified, man. I love that character, man.
It's tempered rage, man. He has it. Not for nothing, like no shade on the rest of the turtles, but he is the one that everyone has to worry about because he can spaz out. And if he blacks out, you know what I'm saying, who's gonna stop him?
He's the Wolverine of the team. He's the Wolverine of that group. And it's funny, once again, I'm saying my age for clarification. At being 44, I have a hard time arguing over Ninja Turtles, so I know that there's the Michael Bay movies, which aren't for me. But goddamn, that 1990s turtle holds up to this day, and that rooftop fight scene, I will put up against the Raid any fucking day of the week.
Yeah.
Sorry, Mars. When they throw fucking Raph and the fucking.
Dude. But that's straight out of the comic. Even the part where he's like, is he alive? Barely. Like, oh my god.
But then the way that they fucking then tether that with like him sitting in the ice bath and like Leonardo just sitting next to him, just feeling all fucked up. Like, man, my bro is dying, dog, because he was dying because we wasn't there, and he was trying to take on everything, because it exemplified, how he lived. He was just trying to take on the world on his own, anyways. You know what I'm saying? That was just, I mean, it was beautiful.
Like I said, man, I feel like he took everybody's rage, man. The other ones dealt with it, but I feel like that was his burden. Like, all right, I mean, we're fucked up. We're turtles. Like, so, and
I don't even know if he really liked pizza.
And he threw it. He threw that all over his shoulder. He's just like fighting, man. He like fighting. Like, I love the character, man. I think it's one of the greatest cinematic moments. Just watching his personification and everything, man. It's just so cool, man. Because even when they do the intro to April O'Neil, and he's sitting there with the toothpick, like,
it's
amazing.
And he was saying like, "Damn," it's like he's trying to swear.
Yeah.
Damn.
Yeah.
Splinter. I love it, man. I love it. That's all I got, man. That's my last one, man.
Great way to close out, bro. Great way to close out.
All right, so what you got, Ravenshadow, man?
I can't fucking top that, brother. I can't fucking. I'll try. So my third, once again, my selection's based on improvements on the character. However, this character does happen to be my favorite comic character of all time. Now, I will preface by saying my favorite version of this character happened in 1985 under the written direction of John Byrne and the art by John Byrne and some great creators that came afterwards. But would be Superman. And cinematically, I think you got to give respect to the guy that started it all. and cinematically Christopher Reeve's portrayal of Superman.
All day.
I'm not saying every film is perfect, but
It's not.
1 and 2, in terms of acting now, I don't like the bumbly Clark Kent. I know that was a thing before.
But he did that
prefer-
pretty well.
He did. He killed it. And the fact that when he takes his fucking glasses off from being, oh, geez, to like,
Yeah.
he goes from fucking Woody Allen to fucking Clint Eastwood.
Yeah.
Like that.
Yeah, man. Yeah.
It's acting like a motherfucker. And I remember my ex-wife, we just got a DVR. No, she got a Kindle and started watching Breaking Bad. And I've never seen Breaking Bad. She
Oh,
would,
Great.
man.
Great. It's worth
Say
it.
what?
here's why. I'm
You-
going to tell you a story real quick. So she would choose to watch Breaking Bad the 2 nights of the week I'd work the shop. Now, meanwhile, the nights I'm home, we're watching fucking Cake Boss, like a Cake Boss, like a motherfucker, or like fucking, Sweden Wives, or like My Secret fucking Lunch Bag. I don't know what the fuck it was on.
A secret lunch bag. What the fuck?
I don't know what it
What's that? We need to start that show. My secret lunch bag.
My Secret Lunch Bag. But then she goes through
It could be on shrimp in that lunch bag, or it could be like pizza. In that
I ain't
lunch
doing no
bag.
more podcasts, bro.
Oh my god.
But then she goes to me, she
Gotta take
goes,
my hat
do you want to watch the final episode? Why would I watch the final episode?
Yeah, if you haven't seen the rest, that's crazy.
Oh my god.
But I've heard that when the character of
Walter White.
Malcolm in the Middle had a similar portrayal. But a little digression. I'm sorry, Corey. That's my last
you good.
appearance on the show.
Fuck it, you the last one.
But what Reeve did, as I'm trying to say, is that he could play those roles, and even down to, you could argue Superman 3 for the Pryor stuff. Pryor loved Superman and didn't want to ad lib. But that scene with him being by the red kryptonite, shooting the beer peanuts with the beer.
Oh, I love that dude. That joint felt so real. That was more convincing than Superman being mad when he got brought back in Justice League. Like, it was just like,
Right.
it was just like the eyes. I was like, yo, don't fuck with him.
Yeah, but Reeve killed it. Reeve, I mean, I think TV's Tom Welling comes close, but I mean Reeves nailed it, man. So favorite character and probably favorite cinematic. He was the dude, right?
And not for nothing, he will forever be Superman. Like, and
Right.
I mean, like, some people, they get typecast or whatever the case.
Who was
but-
the Superman Returns Superman? Because he looked like
Brandon
Christopher
Routh.
Reeve.
Brandon Routh.
Yeah, it was like it was
Yeah.
almost like his little brother was trying
Yeah.
to like stand in for him while
Yeah.
he took a pee break.
because
It wasn't the same
for
like-
all of us. Christopher Reeves he's Superman.
Mhm.
Like, you know what I'm saying? It's just like kind of. I mean,
I
kind of
mean,
like
he,
saying
he-
Mike.
he was a
Mike
competent
Keaton
actor,
is-
man. Like, the thing is, most people haven't seen him in other shit, but he was solid, man. you
I've
know?
only seen him in one other movie, man. One other movie outside of Superman. It was a dope ass film, but it's called Under Suspicion. Under Suspicion, and he actually plays a paraplegic, and that was the last film he did before he ended up getting paralyzed.
What was the film with him and Morgan Freeman?
Morgan Freeman.
Yeah, is that Street? It was Street Smart, was it?
Street Smart, yeah, where he
That
played.
is Street Smart. Okay,
Yeah.
Morgan
I've
Freeman
never
was a
seen
pimp
that.
in it, and Christopher Reeve's a reporter.
Oh,
And he basically, Reeves' character fabricated a story about a pimp,
Yeah,
but it was so close to this real pimp that Morgan Freeman looking the same as he does now.
yeah,
He hasn't,
yeah.
That dude hasn't aged since the fucking
Ageless
election company.
wonder, man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, remember young Morgan Freeman? No, you don't,
No,
because he was never young.
he came out the womb at like 43.
yeah, man. It's funny. I was reading this article. They said like he's played every role that there is. Like, he's been like,
Played
a president. He's played God. He's he's everything under the sun. It's
I don't
like,
think I've
shit.
seen him play evil though. Have I? I don't know. I don't know if I could think of
Street
a bad
Smart.
guy role.
Yeah, it's Street Smart.
Was it like a pimp?
Yeah.
Oh shit!
Gotta get that one off you, like Gordon from Sesame Street.
Oh man, dude, that was a fucking dope film, though, man.
Oh, to be fair though, Cory, he was the wall in the Electric Company. He fought Spider-Man.
Oh shit! Damn! I forgot they used to have the little animated Spider-Man cartoons on there.
Yeah,
That's wild. And remember, who was the guy that played Spider-Man like the 70s? He was like those made for TV movies.
He was actually Marsha Brady's boyfriend in a Brady Bunch episode. The fuck was actually his name?
I can't remember, man.
But he always fought ninjas.
Yeah.
Every fucking week.
And they had the Halloween webs from when you do the
And those webs were horror fucking book.
I think it was shit.
Hammond. Somebody Hammond.
Nicholas
Jim
Hammond.
No?
Nicholas Hammond. Nicholas Hammond. Yeah. Them joints was wild, dude. Yeah. That was a wild era, man. Yeah. Yo, but see, that's what I'm kind of hoping that these films will get to. I need Tom Holland to pick up that camera. I really do, man. That would be amazing if they incorporate that into the next film. Because it's like, I need that progression, man. I need him to get into adulthood, man. Like, yo, get a job and have Jay Jonah yelling at him. I would love that. So
he has to. I mean, that was such an important part of his life.
Fuck it, we can't do that now. Jay Jonah just blew the spot on him. Jay Jonah. But yeah, that's what's up, man. Have you guys checked out Invincible at all? That shit's amazing. Oh my god, that's just really good.
I watched part of the first episode.
Yeah, that's really good, dude. But yeah, I think we're gonna wrap this up, man. Folks, thanks for kicking it with us, man. As we looked at our favorite superheroes. I'm pretty sure we'll come back around and hit this subject later at another date. But yeah, tell the folks where they could find you at, Ravenshadow.
Yeah, no, we do Trick or Treat Radio. We do a live YouTube broadcast every Thursday night around 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Boston time. In the audio on to be fair, Boston kind of style a lot of things. Go Brady. Sorry, fellas. He's still one of us. But 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, and the audio drops on Stitcher and all the platforms. trickortreatradio.com. Come hang out with us. Any asshole can have a podcast, and we want to be your assholes. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. One thing about Trick or Treat Radio is they actually have like a live chat during the show, and majority of the time I'm in it, like fucking with people, making fun, cutting.
And that's the best part. We have a great community, much like you folks over at from the Canopy. But
you almost forgot the name of our show.
I've been drinking Corny, okay. But no, Corny's been in my home. Corny met my mom briefly.
I've actually been in that room right there.
Yeah. And it's been dope. So we've been able to not only parlay this community into real life friends. And like I said, Corny's been here. I probably talked to Corny more than my mom, which she's very sad.
Just about every day.
Yeah. But no, check us out if you like any of the nonsense that I spoke, or if you don't, my friends are funnier. But come here. You like dick jokes and nonsense, and but yeah, we'll do the top 15 most fucked up horror films of all time. But yet we'll have a conversation with a female director about the glass ceiling in movie making. So we try to find a balance of chaos and nonsense, and his co-host MZ can talk Transformers until cows go home. He's fucked up.
Yeah. And shit, this is Cory. You can catch me at Monkey Blood on Twitter, Instagram. Follow the podcast at From Canopy on Twitter and at From the Canopy on Instagram. You can email us FromTheCanopyPod at gmail.com, and just track us down in general at FromTheCanopy.com.
And it's Bobby Blockbuster. You might be able to catch me on Instagram at Bobby Blockbuster 118, but I'm still trying to figure all that stuff out.
Are you on there or not?
I mean, I'm on there, but I'm just not.
He's on there.
I'm not good at it yet.
He actually got it right this time.
Yeah, see,
you was the one talking about you gotta be done at 10 o'clock. You lollygagging.
Yeah, I want to see Godzilla before you spoil anything else from it. I'm Cornelius Bros. You can find me on Facebook, Cornelius Bros, Instagram, Cornelius Bros, TikTok at Cornelius1976, and Twitter at Cornelius1976. On Twitter, I pretty much make fun of Donald Trump Jr. because he's a piece of shit. But you know,
I just realized there's snowfall on my TV right now, so I gotta cut this off so I can watch the new episode. But yeah, thanks for hanging out with us, Ravenshadow, man. Appreciate it. It's been a long time coming, man. You know what I'm saying? I knew it would get here one day. I just didn't know when.
Thank you, fellas. It was an honor to hang out with you guys. I appreciate it very, very much. Thank you so much,
man. Yeah,
man. Appreciate you, man.